And so that's what we started to see with these climate strikes, that there is hope, that, led by Greta Thunberg, a 16-year-old Swedish activist who began skipping school on Fridays to protest on the steps of parliament. She's led a global movement of people taking Fridays to step away from work, to step away from school, especially the younger generation, to protest climate inaction, to protest governments and businesses doing nothing about this. So there's a big movement about it. There's a huge social impact. And at these strikes, we saw much more than just the young people. As you can see from this crowd, this is a shot I took at Ottawa's strikes. As you can see from the crowd, there's all variety of people, many adults who are worried about their children or their own futures, or just about the ethics of this whole situation. To give a perspective on what these strikes resulted in Canada, 500,000 people went out in Montreal. Greta Thunberg was actually present. She met with Valerie Plante, and Valerie Plante announced some very ambitious initiatives for Montreal. But 500,000 people came out. This is what you saw in the cover photo for this webinar. On top of that, 1 million across Canada. So that's adding in Toronto and Ottawa and Vancouver and some of these major cities where they had movements, but also a lot of smaller communities where people took to the streets to protest climate inaction. This is what we saw across Canada. But then taking a step back, there are more than 7.5 million people worldwide who participated in this strike on September 27th, 2019. This is one of the largest recorded organized strikes in human history. This is an incredibly significant event and a massive opportunity from a PR and a public engagement standpoint, but also just a good way to have you recognize the severity of this issue if that hasn't registered already. So how is business responding to this? Because this is what we really want to talk about. We want to say, how are companies responding and how are they gaining an advantage from doing so? And so on September 27th, and just using the Ottawa as an example, these companies received some very positive feedback for their initiatives, and they're stepping up during this climate strike day. And each of these, Lush Cosmetics, Mountain Equipment Co-op, and Bridgehead Coffee, closed their doors during the hours of the strike and allowed their employees to take place in it because it's so core to their business. These are some good examples because at the core of each of these companies is a bit of an environmental ethic and a care for greater society. But it's important to note that they gained a lot of publicity, they gained a lot of benefit from doing so. But just so you know, this opportunity isn't gone. Just because you didn't act on the 27th necessarily, or you potentially didn't do enough, doesn't mean that you've missed the boat on sustainable business. Trust me, it's just getting going, and there's going to be a massive movement here that you don't want to miss out on. And so what you can see is that there's a lot more reasons to act now than just to participate in the strikes. This is what I wanted to go through, and this is one of the things that we really help our clients understand, help our clients implement in their businesses, is that there are many more reasons to act now than just the ethics, than just the environmental initiatives, despite that fact that those are important.